So today we'll be talking about DNA and genealogy testing. What are the benefits, what are the risks, and ultimately why should you test? Now, DNA testing, what exactly is it? I'm sure you guys heard of it through maybe your classes or maybe even on the news, but primarily what it does is it tests for genetic or hereditary diseases. Um, Through this, additionally, you can identify your origins, your previous generation's ancestry through it. And the main companies that aid in this process include Ancestry DNA, 23andMe, and Family Tree DNA. So what exactly is in the kit? Mostly you'll find this funnel lid along with this tube where you can deposit your saliva and then mail it back to the company for them to analyze. Another variation of this include a cotton swatch where you can swatch the inside of your mouth and within the same process send it back to the company and your genetics will be analyzed. The results of your DNA test look like this. This person, for example, is primarily European descent, and it displays all the possible countries where you can originate or have originated from. Your ancestry timeline is shown spanning multiple generations where you can identify where your family has come from as well. DNA has many benefits. Like we talked about your identity, your race, your origins, and the composite of your genes and what exactly do they show. Additionally, family, linking different family members that you may not have previously known about could be linked back to you. Mainly, one of the largest benefits is awareness of underlying conditions. Identifying hereditary diseases, conditions, and disorders will help you in the future plan out maybe for your kids or maybe your current life. It also holds the key to the future. This includes medication and drug production, where disorders or diseases can be helped through the study of genetics. Now, the CDC notes 3 different types of testing. This includes single gene, panel test, and large scale testing. Single gene is testing simply one gene. This mostly is recommended by your healthcare provider where you have a possibility of a certain disease or disorder where it is narrowed down to a single gene and you can be tested for that. This can range from muscular dystrophy or sickle cell disease. Another example is the panel test, where a group of genes are tested rather than a single gene. This is mainly used for breast cancer or colon cancer. Large-scale testing, on the other hand, tests the entirety of your DNA or genetics. This is mostly catered towards people who have an extensive amount of medical histories, previous conditions, and they're trying to find the cause of them. 23andMe, one of the most popular companies that we just talked about, include 12 million people, and 80% of those people who have used this service agree to use their DNA for further research. Additionally, 14 million was the previous price of genetic sequencing. This is a large amount comparatively to the now accessible $99. Over $15 million were invested into this company through various investors and various fundings for the future. And 23andMe in 2015 actually got approved by the FDA for genetic risk information to be shared with the customers. Some common concerns include privacy, where obviously your DNA is very important. It's like your fingerprint or your social security number. It's a unique thing to only you. Things such as identity theft as consequences can be possible. But most of these companies are very trustworthy. They have millions of people, as we previously stated. They have many people who are backing the companies and many customers who actually come in and get tested. Your DNA is actually obtainable regardless. So let's say your DNA can be swatched off of a cup that you just drank or a hair that fell down to the floor. Your DNA has very little privacy, as just about everywhere you go, you leave traces of your DNA. Another common concern is the inaccuracies of the results. This is a very fair concern, as bringing inaccurate results can change your lifestyle or even your life entirely. But this information was approved by the FDA, and later on we'll have some quotes by the FDA and ultimately going over the FDA's approval of 23andMe. But genome testing by itself should not be used as a diagnosis, and it should be used as an aid for your lifestyle along with working a healthcare professional. Ethical concerns such as utilizing genetics, such as healthcare insurance to discriminate against you, is actually protected through an act that Congress has passed, the Non-Discrimination Act of 2008, which can be found in the National Human Genome Research Institute. The Food and Drug Administration's approval of 23andMe acknowledges possible inaccuracies. Basically, in this quote, they note that a healthcare professional should be noted and consulted about common concerns about the genome testing to see if there are any discrepancies within the test and the healthcare professional. The tested efficacy of the genome testing of 23andMe is reviewed, and it is highly efficient and it can be applicable according to the Food and Drug Administration. The ease of use through a study shows that the 23andMe instructions and reports were easy to follow and understand. More than 90% of the information in the reports were identified or understood by the customers. Finally, the conclusions we can draw from this is ultimately supporting these companies can help the future through things such as drug production, further knowledge of genome or hereditary diseases. Another conclusion that we can come to is this can help you know your identity, know where your origins are from, or possible cultures that you come from. And finally, most importantly, understanding your health, understanding your genome or possible hereditary diseases that you have or can be passed down can help with decisions such as deciding whether to adopt or to give birth, or in other situations, take immediate action for hereditary diseases.